All right. Well, hey, Jeremy Lambert, Your Castle Real Estate, joining you in our podcast studio for another edition of our Hot Sauce Challenge, where we're going to go through 10 real estate questions along with 10 hot sauces that get predominantly worse as we go along and just have some fun. So today I got my friend Daryl Sommers here today. Daryl, you're an agent, you're a veteran, you're a lender. You've got a little bit of everything under your cap. How long have you been doing this and how did you get into real estate?
I have been doing this about 7 years. And I got into real estate because it's a family business. My mom is a realtor. A number of my family members are realtors. So originally I was licensed in New York. I was working as a licensed assistant under my mother. And then I just branched into my own business.
That's really cool. It's really cool. I bet you get to see a lot of the business as you're growing up and seeing your mom do it, kind of bled off of you. Seems like that's something the family does. So we're going to get started, Daryl, with the classic hot sauce.
All right.
And you're smart. You're gloved up. Not touch your
Gloved
eyes.
up, I'm
Don't
ready.
touch your face. Right? The classic hot sauce is actually the easiest one. My son even made it through this one, and he is not a big hot sauce guy. So watching your mom sell real estate in New York, you got to see that lifestyle a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. You got to see like running around. Were you surprised when you actually did it on your own that it was different, or different market, right?
It was very similar. Different markets, of course, but a lot of the principles are the same.
Sure.
So it wasn't that hard of a transition. The biggest part was just, starting my own business and getting my own clients.
Now,
So.
were you got licensed out in Colorado, right? Not in New York? Or
I was
both?
licensed in New York first and then Colorado. Yeah.
Did you find it a challenge, like coming out here, really not with a big network, right? Mm-hmm. And then having to build that up? What was that like? And we're going to move on to number 2. This is seeing double. This one's a little baby, don't worry.
Yeah, so basically, I actually worked for a car rental company when I first moved here, and I was able to meet a decent amount of people through that.
Oh, cool.
And then after that, I had to build my own network, which took a couple of years, which I did kind of through the live music scene, and then also a lot of my lifestyle things like skiing and camping and biking.
So I'm guessing that's just a lot of relationship building organically, right? Mm-hmm. So you must, that's pretty good.
That is delicious, actually.
You
yeah.
must get just a lot of past clients or referrals from your friends, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. What does it mean to you when someone texts you or calls you and says, hey, my buddy's moving here, or my sister needs a house? Like, what does that mean to you to get referrals like that?
It is the number one honor in all of real estate. It means that I've done not only a great job for you, but I've done such a good job that now you want me to work with your family. And I've worked with maybe 4 people's parents, and that is like
cool.
the ultimate, honor to be able to work with the client and then their parents as well. It said that I did that good of a job for my clients. So that's what I strive for.
I think that's something that is very powerful. Like, I pride myself on being a connector. And and I pride myself on running in my way too a referral-based business, and it means a lot. But more than anything, what I love, and you probably get the same thing, is when somebody says, hey, I want you to meet Jeremy, and then they say a couple things, right? It's not just say, hey, meet Jeremy, he'll do it. It's always like, hey, he's this or he's that, or he means this to me. And I always get so like humbled and excited when I see that stuff.
Yes.
Because a lot of these people are people I really trust, right? Like. So I bet you feel the same way, right?
I feel exactly the same way.
So
my favorite thing is being of value to not only clients, but just friends. Like, I have a number of friends looking for jobs right now, and I've hooked them up with my brother, trying to get them in their company. So that's my number one thing, is just being valuable to not only my clients, but my friends as well.
Yeah, I remember when we first started teaching ninja selling at Your Castle, we had this little book called The Go-Giver, right? And it give to get, right? And all those things. And I think, if you live your life that way, it's very powerful. Like, this business is hard. Like, real estate is very hard. I don't think a lot of people realize that, as a real estate agent, you're not just selling real estate, right? You're running a business.
A relationship,
yeah,
too.
And you have to be the accountant and the CEO and the financial planner of your business and the marketing person and blah, 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 right? And I think it can be very challenging. And also the transactions. The transactions are very difficult. Now, I was talking to this with Dan Fortune the other day. The real estate transaction itself, there's so many moving parts. Right? There's finding a home, there's qualifying, there's getting them pre-approved, there's all these different things you have to do. And then once you get under contract, you're kind of shielding your clients from all of these things. You kind of like, you don't want to peel back the curtain in a way and show them like, hey, I got really stressed on this, or the appraisal came in low, or the inspection. But is there a part of the deal that is your favorite, or is there a part of the deal that you think that's what I'm good at? Talbot the Bartel would always say, I get people under contract. Like that's what I'm good at.
Yeah.
You know? Like, is there just a favorite part of the deal you like doing?
I mean, getting people under contract is the most exciting part, but the negotiation part is my second favorite, or even sometimes my top favorite, because a lot of times if I'm the buyer's agent, I have to do a lot of research on things that I may not know about, like sewer systems or roof systems or HVACs, whatever. And I really like the research aspect because I almost never lose a negotiation because I'm so well researched on, well, I think this person's going to come back and say this, and then I can say this because I know exactly what's going on with this house issue. So.
Yeah, imagine that, like doing your homework, being a professional, right? And I think that's one of the big reasons why you have the success you have. And that's why you get those referrals. So pointing on, we're going to move on to fermented kimchi.
Oh,
now, I still don't know what this is, even though I've asked like 30 times. I think it's cabbage or something.
It's cabbage, yeah.
Is it really?
Spicy cabbage, yeah.
But it is
Asian spicy
very
spicy
interesting
cabbage.
hot sauce. So I'll pass this one to you. Yeah, negotiation. It's funny to see people kind of roll over sometimes, right? Like in everyday life, we're always negotiating for something.
Sure.
And so it's definitely a challenge. It's something you got to work towards. So you sell all over Denver Metro, right?
I'm actually further than that as well.
Oh yeah. Where are your service areas? That's good.
Lately, it's been West Denver,
Okay.
like Wheat Ridge, Arvada. But a lot of times, like I'll do Central Denver. I've gone as far as Fairplay. That's not my specialty, but I had a client who did not want to be referred out. They just, despite me telling them I don't usually work in this area, still wanted to work with me.
It says a lot.
So yeah,
And so
I'll work as far as my clients want me to work, and I'll do the research to know about that area.
I love that. I love it because a lot of people do. What do you have kind of like a favorite area or maybe like a hidden gem? And before you answer that, we're going to move on to Chairman Meow's Revenge, the fat cat.
Great name.
It's a great name. But you have like a hidden gem. Like for me, I love Wheat Ridge. Like I think
I was
Wheat
actually
Ridge
going to say Wheat Ridge.
is
It's
one of
really
my
funny.
favorite places. And I used to live in Jefferson Park. And Jefferson Park, to me, is like one of my favorite places. I love Jefferson Park Pub. I love the restaurants. There's a great coffee shop, the barber there. And I kind of immerse myself in that area. But, do you have kind of a favorite spot that you would, you like?
I mean, I do like where I live a lot, Cheeseman Park. A lot of the changes that Denver, the city, has seen, like a lot of those changes have not happened in Cheeseman. Like a lot of those businesses are all OG businesses, which I really like.
Which is cool.
So, I mean, I like Cheers. I like my neighborhood Cheeseman.
Okay.
But outside of that, I actually also really like Wheat Ridge. Wheat Ridge has changed a lot. It's gotten really, they have that whole little area of like all those little like restaurants and businesses that one of them you can like play lawn games at. That never existed before. That's really cool. And then you've got the classic Clancy's, of course. So
Yeah,
I like all those unchanged
Me too.
like OG businesses.
We tried in my personal life to really go to places where I can have experience. Right? I'll give you a prime example. There's a taco place on 32nd. They used to be called Pinche Tacos.
I know exactly
Now,
what you're talking about. Yeah.
I think Pinche Tacos has the best queso in Colorado. And
a
I think
bold
their
statement,
food
Jeremy.
is amazing. They are, but I never go there.
Okay.
I go right down the street to El Camino.
Okay.
Because El Camino, every time I walk in there, they create an experience.
Sure.
Right? I know them. I know the owner. I know the manager. When I walk in, they come give you a hug. They talk to you. They spend time with you, right? It's not just eating a freaking taco. It's an experience. Sorry, got me. I tried. I made it 2 minutes though. But, and I think sometimes in this business, that's why people refer you out, because it's not just a transaction. There's a lot of emotion in this deal.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So, what are some little things you do other than research and that sort of thing to make this an experience for your clients? And we're going to move on to Los Calientes. Oh.
I would say the number one thing is the relationship building aspect. Like I don't want to just sell someone a house and never talk to them again. Like I'll put their birthday in my database. I'll put, their whatever anniversary, their home anniversary in my database, and I'll contact them on those dates because I want them to know, hey, I'm not just here to sell you a house. Like, there's times when you need a plumber, you need an electrician. Like, I want you to be able to reach out to me and use me as a resource past the sale.
Sure.
So that's kind of my thing is
That's
the
smart.
relationship part.
You mentioned music earlier.
Ooh, that one was really good.
That's one of my favorites. Sorry. And we don't have any heat yet.
Oh, yeah, it's fine, yeah.
This is great. But you mentioned music earlier. It's a big part of like your networking and stuff you're passionate about. When you work with people like in that community, do you become friends with them after the fact?
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have very few clients that I don't hang out with, or at least see once a year on their home anniversary or something like that. Especially the people that I met through the live music scene, like I see them at shows all the time. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool. So I noticed one thing I really like about you and I admire is you're never stagnant. Right, I see you at our company meetings, I see you at classes, I see you working on things, you're always doing new stuff for your clients, and you've recently added something pretty cool to your business, right? Tell me a little bit about the value add you've added about becoming a lender. I mean, this is going to be, I don't know what it's called, Omnima?
Oh.
Yes, this is number 6.
All right. So in March, I became a lender. Not so much to become a lender, like I don't really have interest in like completely like, just becoming a lender and not in real estate. It was more so just to like add to my current business. Like there are certain benefits that I can offer through the dual program for my clients who work with me as both. And, when interest rates are high and when there's not, as much negotiation room, if it's a new listing, those are things that I can add both for sellers and buyers. There's certain benefits. So that's more so what I added on behalf of my clients. And also because I have more control, like I know what's going on in the deal more so than if I was just a realtor. And honestly, like you can watch the whole process, and you couldn't do that as a realtor. There's things that they can't share with you because you're not licensed. So it's nice to have more, not necessarily control, but more idea of what's going on, and you can pass that on to your client.
I absolutely love it. I got in a situation where I was using a lender one time, and we started having problems, and it wasn't on my end. Like I was doing my stuff, right? But I would call her and I didn't get a call back. Right, as a dual agent, I can go in there, right? Like there is no bullshit. Like if I need answers, read it, and I'm sure you're the same way.
Absolutely, it's really nice. Really nice to have that control.
So, okay,
and be able to. I forgot to say, like for my sellers, I can be able to offer certain things to my sellers that maybe. I can qualify them, or I might be able to get them certain discounts or what have you. Those things are really important for sellers, not just for the buyers, to bring more people to the closing table.
Well, I agree. It just gives options.
Exactly.
Right? Now that one's got a little heat.
Yeah, that was good.
That's got a little heat. I'm going to get a little sweat head going on. So now we're moving on to the red flag. This is Black-Eyed Susan. Now, I will tell you the Black-Eyed Susan is my favorite one of all of these.
Okay.
It is, it's an interesting time for people, I think, because consumer confidence is at a certain point. We got an election coming up. You got mortgage rates, even though they're starting to dip. You've got, that's good. Little things going on, right? There's a lot of misinformation out in the market on what people should do, or if they should buy, or if they should sell. Like, what do you think someone should do if they're sitting at home right now watching this? And they're just kind of like, I really like to know what it's like to buy a house. Maybe I haven't, or, I'm scared to trade up because I got this great interest rate, but it's been nagging on them, right?
Sure.
And they're watching the news or things. Well, what advice do you give somebody who's just kind of stuck in their own head?
I always say, at least let me take you out for a coffee and we'll go over a buyer consultation, or we'll go over a seller consultation. We'll go over the buying process. We'll go over the selling process. We'll go over costs associated. We'll go over, setting you up with a search. Like, my main goal when I meet with people for consultations especially is not necessarily to sell them or, sell their house. It's really just to educate them on the process. And if that's all I do, that is totally fine. If you want to work with me 2 years later, totally fine. But at the end of the day, I want to educate you on the process, because a lot of people, especially I work with a lot of first-time home buyers, they're nervous. They don't know what the process is. They think they have to have 20% down. If I can at least educate them on the process and what they need for a down payment, what they need for closing costs, that at least takes a lot of the mystery away and it makes people feel more comfortable. So that, I would say.
That's really cool. I knew let's give this a shot. Let's go a little bite to it. Right there. Not that bad, Jeff. I knew a guy years ago, and I kept telling him, you should buy a house, right? And he was like, no, it's stupid. We should rent, right? And I couldn't figure it out. They were a couple. They had the money. They were about to have kids. And the market was great. It was 2012. Great time to buy, right?
Sure.
But I kept telling him, like, now's the time. And I started to realize they were scared, right? They were scared to, that's got a little spice. They were scared of maybe not getting approved for what they wanted. They were scared of the process. They were scared of, showing people their financials. So I told them, I said, let's go look at a house, and then I'll buy it, and you can rent from me. And they were like, heck yeah. So we went all over North Glen. I finally found this house. It was a flip. And they go, okay, great. I go, I'm going to put an offer on it then.
Sure.
So we sat down with the lender, with them, and they go, okay, great. You're getting this house for, like $250 at the time. And the mortgage is going to be like $1,200. They go, we're going to live in that house for $1,200. They go, you're going to live in that house for $1,700. And he's like, but that's $500 more than you're paying. I'm like, that's because I want to make some money. They quickly bought a house.
That's one way to do it.
Now, let's go. Oh, this is the one, Daryl.
Okay.
This one is a son of a gun.
All right.
Like, this is the bomb. This is the most deadly, evil hot. Oh, I hate it so much. God, I hate it so much. Are you taking on new clients right now?
I am, yep.
And
absolutely.
I don't want to do it. Oh, Jeff, son of a bitch. Sorry. If somebody wants to get in touch with you, how would they find you?
Facebook.com/SellWithSommers. I'll post it at the bottom there. Or 720-668-6670. I will answer my phone as long as I'm awake to help my clients out. So
right on. How do you make a good work-life balance in this business? You just said something. Oh, man. It's getting a little hot. You just said something. You said, I'll answer my phone as long as I'm awake. And I'm the same way. I'm very reactionary. Mm-hmm. But how do you set those kind of barriers sometimes when like, I want to give everything to my clients, but you got to protect yourself?
I mean, there are times, cheers.
Oh, fuck. Sorry. Every time.
There are times for sure when, I go on a backpacking trip and I have somebody take over for my business. And I tell them, like, hey, so-and-so will take good care of you while I'm gone off the grid for, 4 days. And same thing with camping. It's more so during the summer, but.
Yeah. That one gets you.
That one was spicy, yeah.
It jumps up and just punches you right in the throat. Mm-hmm. Oh, now you...
Actually, I'm going to try and champ it.
Yeah, you're going for no milk.
I'm going to wait.
I love it. But we'll quickly move on to number 8. This is Peppers Up. Number 9. We're almost there.
Almost done.
We're almost there. I've only cussed twice. I've done great.
Proud of you.
And that's very rare. There's a lot of brokerages in town, right? Mm-hmm. And you've been around a little bit. You've been here for how many years?
I think 6 years, yeah.
6 years with us, right? I know you get recruited because if you weren't here,
24/7. Yep.
Right? What keeps you here? What keeps you at your castle?
I would say the data for sure. We are so data driven at your castle, and the quarterly meetings keep me on top of the market. And I mean, how many times do you go to a party and somebody asks you about the market?
Oh yeah, that's
so
how you
many
answer
times,
that, right?
And you answer that because Lon provides excellent data to us quarterly, and not just quarterly. I mean, we get a number of emails every day about the data, so that's super helpful.
All right. I'm a big believer in the data. I look at your castle. I'm very fond of this place. Obviously, I've been here 14 years.
Sure.
But I think it's the people. It's always going to be the people.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if we sold this brokerage, they're not going to. Oh shit.
You just send it.
Oh man. Oh. This is the last one. I'm not doing this anymore. Oh man. Good agents with a good staff and a good mission always work together. Always works well.
And I think there's a general amount of honesty and integrity in this company too that I really appreciate.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't work anywhere else.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I would work on getting that out of my throat right now. That's evil. It's very evil. Now this is the last dab on the show that we're not affiliated with at all. I legally bought these though. They usually put on a little extra. I'll let you decide if you want to do that. You've been a trooper. You made it all the way through. Let's get the last dab going. So let me ask you this: when you're not selling real estate, I know you're big outdoors. You're into music. Mm-hmm. Like, what's your why? What's your why you do this?
Honestly, it's the family business, and I was just trained on it at a very young age, and I like helping people with homeownership. I mean, I think it's amazing to be able to drive past that house and be like, and say hello to that client, and be like, I sold that house. I love the relationship side of it. I love seeing the houses I've sold. I love seeing the happy clients, in their houses. My favorite thing is being invited over after and seeing what they've done with the house and helping them interior decorate. That's probably my favorite thing, is the education piece and just watching my happy clients in their awesome homes. That's why I do it.
Well, I got to tell you, it's been a lot of fun hanging out with you. You're a pro. You're somebody I admire. We love having you with the company.
Thank you.
You do it right, and you just did this right because we're at the kick this
Cheers.
thing's butt. Oh gosh, God, I hate you. I hate you. Oh man. I put too much again. Second time.
That is not good.
No.
It's spicy, but it's not tasty at all.
It's mean. It's a mean little person. Well, Daryl, glad you're here.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming in. And
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Next time, I will put even more hot sauce on like a moron because that's what I am for doing this. Thanks for hanging in, and we'll see you on the next one.